Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Kathy at Attic Treasures Etc. And today I wanted to show you my latest journal. This is an Edith Holden botanical journal, and this is actually Edith Holden on the front. I cut her picture out of one of her books, and I have her initials here, EH for Edith Holden. The cover is upholstery fabric with vintage lace, and I have some corner protectors on there. They're really just embellishments. They're not metal. And I've got some fabric leaves and a flower embellishment there. And then on the back, I have these leaves that are just fabric leaves. And then also on the back, some more of the vintage lace. Now the closure, if I can show you here, is a chain, because she is kind of a little chunky girl, and the chain has this leaf design on it, and it attaches at this end with a lobster claw so that you can remove it all together, and then at this end with just a simple hook. I also added this cute little jar, this little jar with a stopper in it, that is the stopper, and the little hook thing here is glued in with E6000 glue, so it's not going to come out. But I filled it with lavender seeds because I feel like when Edith Holden was out in nature, she was probably also gathering some seeds, and so I wanted to put that on there as a little charm. And it comes off as well. It's just got this little lobster claw holding it on, so you can take it off if you choose. So she measures, let's see, 6 by 9, and 3 signatures, and I forgot to count how many pages, but I'll put that up at the end when I post the video. So inside, the first thing I have here is this nature notes in her handwriting with some antique buttons, and then we have a tag with a charm on it. This actually a journal card, and then this little journal card, which is a picture of a bird. Now her writings are throughout. Her writings and her paintings are included throughout. So I do have the month in chronological order. Have her 1906 here from when she wrote it. This is wallpaper for the signature covers with some of the poems and her paintings decoupaged on with some vintage lace and trim. The pages are all coffee dye paper that I use some plastic lace placemats to get a pattern. And some of the quotes that I have in here are from the months that she wrote it. So this is January, and then this was one of her January quotes. And I used some vintage tape that I harvested from an old book, and I glued that on in some of the spaces. So these are 2 tuck spots, and I have this little vellum envelope with a couple of pieces of stationery tucked inside. And it is held together with a little bit of a Velcro dot. Then these are real leaves that I gathered from my backyard and decoupaged on. And I do have a video where I showed how I did this, so I'll include that at the end. And then a couple of tags inside these little leaves. I turned them into a pocket. This is from a garden book, and then I decoupaged some of the swallows of hers on there and sewed some lace on. Some clusters here and some lace. Another a piece of paper here that's kind of tucked in with some of her, well, basically all the decoupage is her work. So another quote from January. I have a wallpaper tuck here with an envelope that I used a page from a garden book to make, with some of her sayings on there, some of her handwriting. And then I've got a couple of little pieces of paper in here that you can use to write on the back. And then I've got her writing decoupaged on the back with some birds from a bird book. Here's another tuck spot. And this is something I just picked up recently at a secondhand store. It's birds of Colonial Williamsburg, so they're U.S., but I just thought that these were such cute cards. So you write the letter in there and then you could address it on the back. So here's a little journal card from a scrapbook paper. And then this is some of my handmade paper, this the white paper, and then some painter's paper inside for a little notepad. Little pocket. I made this from some eco-dyed paper that I did a while back. Some lace or some paper doilies, some stenciling. And this is the center of this signature. I have butterflies holding the strings together in each of the signatures. Some very vintage lace trim. I had a lot of fun putting this journal together. So here's February. An altered paper clip with a charm on here. It's a little squirrel with a little pearl acorn hanging from it. Is just absolutely adorable. And then a journal card from her book. So I know people have said that they could never cut up one of her books, but I just have to tell you that I have a pristine hard copy or hardcover copy that I will not cut up, but these are from paperback copies that I bought just for that purpose. And then this is one of her entries from February 1st to go in the February section. And here's the other half of that paper. It's just a piece of lined paper that I inked up, and another one of her poems that she put in there. She didn't write the poems herself. She's not the author of them, but she included them in her nature notes. So I thought they were quite nice. And some more of the vintage tape that I added on there. A little cluster here. Here's 3 little envelopes that I made from her book pages, and they're also held together with these little Velcro dots, and each one of them has a little bird card in it that you can use to journal on the back. And these were provided by the lovely Eclectic Marty on her Facebook page, and she provided them for us to use. So these are really, really pretty, and thank you so much, Marty, for offering those up. Some more of the vintage lace, the same that's on the front of the journal and also on the back, some of the pieces. The other half of the garden book. This is a loaded pocket that I put together. The bottom pocket opens up, so you pull this down this way, and then inside is a little notepad with some just some plain sheets of paper in there, some clusters on the front. Here's one of the autumn tags that I made on video, and this is a journal card with one of the little frames that I made from when I did the 10 things that you can do with scrap strips video. And then there's just some copy dyed paper on the back. This is from a book of tree identification, like a field guide, and I used my watercolor pencils to color in the images, and then attached it to some heavier cardstock so that you could journal on the back. This is another entry down here from February. And then we go into March, and a little cluster tucks here with some small tags that you can write on the back. And then one of these little pieces of ephemera that I found at Hobby Lobby in a pack. And I just thought they were kind of cool because they're fountain pens, and I imagine that that's what Edith Holden would have used. So here's another pocket with another one of the autumn tags, and then this little scrappy notebook that I made when I was just cleaning up my desk a while back. And then this also opens up, and it has a poem here, a springtime poem. And then this is the end of the first signature. And signature number 2, again, wallpaper with some of her beautiful artwork and handwriting on the front of it there. This is vellum that I copied some drawer liner onto that I thought was really pretty. And these dates don't really have anything to do, they don't really have any other significance other than to keep the poem in order. So the poem has 4 stanzas, so this is the first stanza, and then on the back there's also a fold down sheet of paper for more writing space. And then same thing with the second stanza, so more writing space on the back. And then on down to the 4th stanza, they're all the same, and that's just a way to keep them in order, so makes it easier that way. Here's a little charm on a bulb pin attached to some vintage lace. This is from a beautiful garden book. And more of her artwork here. Here's another, this is a cluster. These mushrooms were from an old Golden Book encyclopedia. This is some of the images from it. So this is a little cigarette card, vintage. I don't know when they used to put these in packs of cigarettes. This is some painter's paper, and I used some corrugated cardboard to stamp some lines on there, and then some mushroom stickers. This is another little tuck spot here. This is a journal card, and I got the basic idea of sewing on some little scraps of lace and sari silk from Teal and Tattered from one of her videos. But when I did it, I thought it needed something more, so I fussy cut out some dogwood blossoms from some scrapbook paper I had, and put some little birds on the wire, and put you know, one of her entries, The Last of Our Summer. And then on the back I included a pocket, and including some of these little Tim Holtz flowers for you to put inside the journal should you choose to make it yours. This will be available in my Etsy shop as soon as I get the pictures taken and get it loaded up into Etsy. This is the green woodpecker. I love this image. And then I put some a piece of this handmade paper from Nepal. It's called, the pack was called Rainbow Paper, but it's handmade and it's from Nepal. And so there's a couple of different sheets of this paper in there. It's just absolutely beautiful, and it feels very silky. Some more of the garden book that I have with some of her nature notes on the included on there, and some of her artwork. This is a corner tuck, and another one of these. It's an envelope with handmade paper in it from Nepal, and this is one of the blue ones. And I just think that this is so beautiful. We have April, some vintage lace for trim for a tab. This is the center of the signature, another little butterfly on the strings. So I just have to say, I think this is my favorite bit of her artwork with the bunny there. So beautiful. She was so talented. Some more copy dyed paper. I put a tab here with a bow on it. And then this is some of her artwork, and I just kind of made it look a little bit grungy and then used some of my vintage tape just to enhance it a little bit. All of the pages are sewn on, as you can probably already see. It's more of that garden book from the other side of it. Now we start in June. So I have to say, when I first started thinking about where I wanted to put the months in her handwriting, I was thinking, well, I'll just do it by quarters, so I'll do 3 months in each. And as I got into the second signature, I realized, oh, I only have 3 signatures, so I should have put 4 months in each one. So anyhow, the middle signature has 6 of her months there. This is the edge piece from the bunny page, and it was too pretty not to use, so I just did some punching on it with my edge punch and used it to decorate the edge of that page. Some more painter's tape, and I've got some ribbon here that I've ruffled and sewn on. We're August. Some more of this garden book that I included some lace and some of her beautiful flowers. This is a pocket, and inside is a little notepad using some painter's tape and again some of her beautiful artwork and handwriting. So on this page we have these 3 pockets, and each one has a tag in it, and I used some of the fabric leaves that I used on the back of the spine as toppers. So I have some mushrooms on each one, and this is some of the eco-dyed paper that I made a while back. And then there's some copy dyed paper also sewn on the back for writing space. I just love the way these the leaves look. So when I was in the process of putting this together, and basically I haven't done anything else since making this journal. My nose was just always in this journal, just trying to put it together and just thinking of different things. And sometimes I would go to bed and I would get an idea, like to use the leaves as a tab, so I'd have to get up and rush in here and at least pull the bag that I have with the leaves and leave it on my desk so that I would remember in the morning what I wanted to do with it. Does anybody else do that? Like, ooh, I have an idea, I have to jump up. Okay, so that's the end of the second signature. And with the third signature, more decoupaged onto wallpaper and some vintage lace trim. So beautiful. Oh, I just had so much fun making this journal. I can't tell you. So here's another altered paper clip, and it has a little charm on it that says I love autumn with a couple of acorns. So I thought it would be good in this section. This is one of the cards from the 1890 something album that had a bunch of these cards, and it was a praying, P-R-A-N-G album, which I had never heard of, but I found it at an antique store and I knew I had to have it. So I looked it up, and apparently that was kind of a thing back then, is that they would collect these cards for this, specifically for the praying album. And some of them are scenery, some of them are flowers and different things. So I thought it was appropriate to put in here. And so it's very vintage, and all these little marks on it are just marks of age. This is from a scrapbook paper that I used for a flip for this September. And we'll put this back on. And I also found a package of postcards, all of children, and I love this one so much because it just made me think of Edith Holden as a young girl sitting at her desk, with watercolors and coloring, or painting these flowers and leaves onto it. So I just thought that was so sweet. Had to put that in there. This is a lace flip, and just to keep it from flopping around too much, I added some Velcro just to kind of hold it in place. And then I sewed some of this trim on it just to kind of stiffen it up on the edges, but I just thought it was really pretty. It was like a lace, it was just one piece of lace, and it was just the perfect size. Now we're in October, more from this gorgeous garden magazine, and some ruffled lace with the ribbon trim. This is some of Edith Holden's artwork down here of these beautiful violets, and then I decoupaged some of her birds on it too. And these are a couple more of the cards from Marty, Eclectic Marty, and I really thank her for including those because for providing them for our use, because they're perfect for here. Okay, so this is a little pull-out from one of her. I didn't want to cover up the back because it's just too pretty, so that's why I didn't use it as a pocket or anything. I wanted to pull it out, and then when you open it up, pull it out, and then you have all this writing space. And then it goes on this belly band here. Some an October entry. Now we're into November. Another altered paper clip and an envelope that I made from one of the pages from her book. And then I just included a piece of lined paper for some more writing space in here. And it's got the Velcro closure as well. This is from a bird book. Some more, another journal entry of hers. This is some of the drawer liner paper. Paper ruffle with some washi tape. Another little cluster, just some little scraps from her book. Some more of the bird book. Another entry from her journal. December. And then the other half of this lace. In December, keep yourself warm and sleep. I think that's my favorite quote. And then that's the end of the third signature. And then back here I have her E.B. Holden, and one of my little, it just says handmade with love by Kathy at Attic Treasures, etc. And then the last two things in here is this beautiful photograph. I found a package of photographs at one of the secondhand stores, and that one was just beautiful and seemed to fit perfectly. Another little altered paper clip with a key charm. And then another little notebook. I just decoupaged on here this song thrush. And the poem on the inside, it's on the front, and the inside of the front cover, the inside of the back cover, about the song thrush. And then the song thrush's age, and then some more random papers to go inside this little notebook. So just for fun, just to have some more writing space, and because I thought it was cute. So that's the journal. I hope you enjoyed looking through this. I really enjoyed making it so much. So in addition to the journal, you also get this beautiful writing board that I created from her artwork, and it's nice and sturdy. And what you do is you put it behind one of the pages that you want to write on, because you know sometimes the pages can get sort of bumpy, and if you want to write on them, it can kind of pose a problem because there's just so much in here. So you just put it behind, and then you can write on it, and it makes it much easier. So this also comes with it, and it can, you know, tuck right inside the front cover or the back cover or anywhere inside. So thank you so much for watching. I'm really glad you were here today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you'll take a look at my Etsy shop. And if not, that's fine too. I hope maybe you got some ideas and inspiration to make your own Edith Holden journal. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have and you're back, thank you for coming back. And always let the serendipity find you. I'll see you in my next video, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.